Today, we are going to learn how to stop translating in your head and how to start thinking in English. Let me ask you a question. When you speak in English, do you have to translate what you want to say in your head before you say it? Do you do this? I go after graduate, America go to. Or are you afraid of making a mistake? So you think about what you're going to say for too long, and you often freeze. Like this. I like play baseball game. Doing this is very stressful. It takes a long time and a lot of work, and when you do this, your response time to the question is really long. And also, let's be honest, you don't sound very natural. Sometimes you can sound like a robot. I want to talk with many people about many things. I enjoy. So, if we learn how to think in English, we can speak more fluently and naturally. We can improve our response time to different questions. We can improve our ability to make good sentences and questions. And most importantly, it'll be less stressful and it'll be easier for you to speak English. Okay? Let's go. The first tip is probably the easiest, and also it can be used by many beginner students. Wherever you are, if you have a little free time, look around you and look at all the objects that you see around you. Name these objects: a chair, a camera, a whiteboard, desk, chairs. If there's an object that you don't know, look it up in your dictionary. This is very similar to how babies and young children learn a language. They start with simple vocabulary words, then from that, they expand into making sentences and using different grammatical patterns. Try to do this 5 to 10 minutes a day. You'd be surprised at how much it can help you. The next step is very similar to what we just studied, but this time, we're not only going to use words, we're going to make sentences. Whenever you have some free time, or if you're walking around town, maybe you're riding a train, look around you and start making sentences about what you see. If you see a cute dog, think to yourself in English, "That's a cute dog." Or if you're on a train and there's a lot of people, think to yourself in English, "Wow, this train is crowded." This is something that I used very often when I was studying Japanese. And I just made it a habit. Whenever I was walking around, I did this. If there was something that I couldn't say, later on, I would ask my teacher and she would help me. Okay, again, this tip is very similar to the previous tip we just talked about. But this time, instead of making sentences about things that you see around yourself, you can make sentences about yourself. You can narrate yourself, almost like a movie. I always wanted to be in a movie. So, if you're buying a train ticket, you can think, "I am buying a train ticket. I am walking to the train. I wonder if the train will be crowded. Oh, there's an empty seat." Again, this is very simple and easy, but these last 3 tips can really help you stop translating in your head and start thinking in English. The next step might not be for everybody, but when I was single and happy, I, of course, lived by myself, and I would often talk to myself in Japanese. 今日何しようかな。やっぱスープいかんと。あ、ごつええ感じ。いやー、これ好きわ。Of course, my neighbors thought I was crazy. They could hear me asking myself in loud, bad Japanese, "What do you want to eat tonight?" I don't know. How about pizza? We had pizza last night. Let's get some ramen. Many people might not want to do this. They might feel a little embarrassed, and that's fine. But if you do live by yourself, try talking to yourself in English. Wow, I'm really tired today. Let's turn on the TV. There's nothing good on. Let's watch the news. I really like this guy's suit. It looks really cool. Don't worry if your neighbors look at you strangely. They are not improving their English. Watch English TV shows and English movies, and English YouTube videos. The more English that you consume, the more you will be able to think in English. The faster you will be able to think in English. Make it a habit. Every time you ride the train to go to work or school, watch a 10-minute English video on YouTube, or your favorite English TV show. If you're a beginner, you can still do this, but you should watch the video 2 or 3 times. Once with your native language subtitles, then with English subtitles, and last without subtitles. Change something in your daily life to English. One of the easier things to use is to change the language on your computer or laptop, or maybe change the settings on your phone to English, or change the settings on your social media accounts to English. By doing this, you force yourself to use English much more. In the beginning, it can be a little difficult, but later, it gets much easier. The camera that I'm using right now to make this video on, well, I got this camera in Japan, and it only has Japanese. It doesn't have any English settings. It was very difficult to use in the beginning, but now I'm used to it. Learn something in English. There are many ways to do this, but the basic idea is to learn something new in English. Of course, if you live in an English-speaking country, this is much easier. Join some kind of class, maybe a cooking class or a dance class, whatever. Doing this forces you to communicate and use English. If you don't live in an English-speaking country, you can still do this. Let's say that you want to learn how to play the guitar, or maybe you want to learn some new recipes. Well, use YouTube. You can find many English language videos that will teach you how to play the guitar. Use Google in English. Find websites that teach you how to play the guitar, but of course, in English. My hobbies are kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And when I started here in Japan, there was nobody in my gym that could speak English. So I had to learn many new Japanese words and phrases just to be able to continue my hobby. Of course, in the beginning, it was really difficult. but I continued. And I really liked kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. So I studied many different phrases. I asked my friends different questions, and very soon I had no problems at all at the gym using Japanese. I could say, "Please stop punching my face," or "I think you broke my arm," or "I'm not crying, I have allergies. Please go away." Start a diary in English. This can be a written diary or it can be a video diary. Both are fine. But by forcing yourself to talk about your day or your plans or your feelings every day, this can really give you a good opportunity to use your English and improve that English. I personally did this when I was learning Japanese. I had a little web camera, and at the end of the day, for 5 minutes, I would look into the camera, hit the record button, and start talking about my day. What happened that day and what I was going to do the next day. Yeah, so today was a good day. I worked, I came home. My neighbors keep looking at me kind of funny. I don't know why. I did this for a year, and it really helped me a lot. Often, I would want to say something, but I didn't know the Japanese, so I would look it up, or I would ask a friend, or ask my teacher. And in that way, I would also increase my vocabulary and my sentence patterns. So starting a written diary or a video diary in English is a really great idea. Talk about your day and your plans. This is very similar to the diary idea. At the end of the day, when you're sitting down at dinner, or maybe you're getting ready to go to bed, take 5 minutes and just think about what you did that day. Think about it in English and make little sentences. Today, I cooked breakfast for my children. My older son didn't like the eggs I made him, so I had to cook him some toast. My wife didn't like the pancakes I made, so she threw them against the wall. I cried. You can also do this for any plans that you have for the next day. Tomorrow, I will go to work at 9. I have many classes. I have 9 classes and all of them are difficult. I will finish work at 10. I will be very tired. Basically, you're just doing a daily diary in your head. If you live by yourself, you can say this out loud. If you live with other people, then you can just think it. All of these tips and ideas that I just taught you are worthless if you don't continue to use them. If you only do this 2 or 3 times, it's not going to help you. You need to try to do this for 2 or 3 months. But if you look at all the tips that we talked about, none of these take a long time. If you can find 5 or 10 minutes every day, you can do one of these. After you do one of these tips for 2 months, maybe you can change to a different one and try that for 2 or 3 months. The key here is to make it a habit. And to make a habit, you usually have to do something for at least a month. Okay, today's homework is really easy. I just gave you 9 ways that you can practice thinking in English. In the comments section, tell me which way you think is the best for you, and which way do you think you might try. Well, that's it for today's lesson. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments section below. If you liked today's lesson, please hit the like button somewhere. and subscribe to our channel. Again, somewhere around here. My name is Randy League, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.